Hello and welcome to the Roadmap to Sustainability for Massey Energy. Massey Energy is the fifth largest coal producing company in the US, with operations in West Virginia, Kentucky and Virginia. The company, first established in 1920, claims to be the largest coal producer in the Central Appalachian region. Currently, Massey manages 23 mines throughout the Central Appalachian region. According to their website, 47% of their production comes from underground mining and 53% of their production comes from the controversial surface mining. Massey doesn't exactly have the best track record for corporate responsibility. Massey extensively uses mountaintop removal, which consists of removing the top layer of a mountain and extracting the coal. This form of surface mining offers a cost-effective and safe alternative to other mining techniques. Companies practicing surface mining claim that they are committed to refill the area once they are finished extracting the coal. However, restoring the ecosystems formed throughout centuries in those areas is an impossible task, and the environmental costs of this practice are generally irreparable. In addition, there is evidence of high levels of groundwater contamination resulting from surface mining activities. In 2003, the US government estimated that over 700 miles of streams were buried and 300,000 acres of forest disappeared. Furthermore, in addition to environmental erosion, surface mining increases air pollution through the dispersal of soil, chemicals, and toxic coal derivatives. The fact that these mines are open increases the level of exposure to these substances and limits the success of simple carbon capturing and storage techniques. Finally, when processing coal, the coal needs to be washed to make it suitable for the market. This process of washing produces vast amounts of toxic coal sludge, which is consequently stored in a coal sludge impoundment or a toxic lake. These toxic lakes are held together by a dam, and in 2000, one of Massey's sludge impoundments accidentally released over 300 million gallons of sludge, resulting in one of the worst environmental disasters in US history. In 2008, the Environmental Protection Agency fined the company $20 million for 4,500 violations to the Clean Water Act and $20 million for violating the Clean Air Act. In addition, civil society groups have threatened to sue the company for over approximately 12,000 violations of pollution laws. Moreover, Massey has been accused of a lack of transparency towards shareholders as they resist disclosure on details regarding their mining operations, including greenhouse gas emissions and climate change strategies. Massey's value chain begins in planning and development, where the company assesses the project feasibility. After a project has been deemed viable, Massey begins their mining operations. The coal is transported to a factory to be processed and stored until a transaction with the client takes place. Subsequently, the company transports the product to a shipping port. Once the product is delivered, the client provides feedback, which is used in further planning and forecasting processes. Now let's see where Massey can improve its corporate responsibility. There are two aspects that Massey can improve: its social and environmental record. Let's have a look at its environmental policy. Massey can look at the following aspects. First of all, its mountaintop removal program. Massey should move away from this activity as soon as possible in order to avoid damage to the landscape. It should build down its dependence on mountaintop removal technique for mining coal and invest in new techniques. In addition, current projects should be managed intensely in order to minimize environmental damage. Massey should also look at its coal sludge policy. Massey should make sure it secures the current sludge impoundments and prevents any possibility for spills. This way they can evade negative press and, just as important, prevent expensive cleanup operations. Then it's methane capture. Massey should install methane capturing installations on the existing mines. It should also, in addition, reduce its carbon footprint by compensation. They could invest in planting new forests and research opportunities for carbon capture storage. Massey should look at its violation of pollution laws and emissions. Wastewater from mining activities shouldn't be let run off freely, but should be stored and treated. Its greenhouse gases, like methane, should be kept to a minimum, and the leaking of heavy metals into the soil is vital to preservation of the quality of the groundwater and health of the ecosystem. Finally, Massey should commit itself to restoring the natural environment. While past events cannot be undone, Massey should restore partly its reputation by being actively involved in the cleanup and restoration of the damages done in the past. In addition, it could set up or support an organization that advocates responsible behavior among mining companies. In terms of social policy, Massey should actively engage in the communities they operate. They should invite local residents to take part in the activities and compensate for damages they inflict. They could be providing cheap energy, community buildings, sponsorships of local sports clubs, and hospitals. This table is summarizing the actions that should be taken by Massey Energy. Have a look. And this diagram gives a timeline with the approximate implementation time. Just have a look again. In this picture you see an image of how the improved value chain should look like. Notice the attention to pollution and emissions and sustainability in the planning. In addition, social engagement of the community is needed. The implementation of our proposed activities will in time result in a positive and convenient outcome for Massey Energy in 4 key dimensions: economic performance, reputation, employee satisfaction, and production. The positive effects for the economic performance of Massey lie in differentiation of production, a competitive advantage by being the first company to implement these activities, increased share value, and finally, shareholder confidence. However, there is also a downside to this change. The adoption of both transformational and reforming activities requires an important investment. Changes in technology, mining techniques, and the implementation of clean coal procedures, carbon capture and storage schemes, water treatment facilities, and the like may result in a decline in production, high costs, and a lower economic performance in the short term. However, in the long term, the effect will be positive. Most importantly, Massey's reputation will improve. The new CSR policy ensures better relations with local governments and communities. In addition, NGOs will favor Massey over other mining companies. In addition, there are benefits for the workforce. Not only will safety for the workforce be improved, but also employees will be happy to work for a company that is practicing a good CSR policy. They don't want to be associated with the polluting Massey that they have known in the past. Although initially Massey will incur higher production costs and a decrease in production, in the long run, fixed costs will go down and Massey will be ahead of the regulations bound to come out governing mining industry. So all in all, Massey will benefit greatly from its new CSR policy.